If your productivity, discipline, and motivation is just unusually low, especially, as of the past couple of years, and you have no idea why, it's a good chance that it's actually due to having so much dopamine in our daily lives. Our brains, our minds, and our bodies are not built to handle so much dopamine at once and so much ease in accessing it. The overload of dopamine actually increases your pleasure baselines, meaning it takes so much for you to feel good, to feel satisfied. We're not able to get a big sense of pleasure from looking out and, at nature or XYZ. And of course, there's a lot of people that do, and I will say they chances are they've consciously made an effort, or just I guess naturally don't have more of an addictive personality where they tend to fall into these dopamine traps. But for those of us that do, and especially for those of us with ADHD, it's so important to really be aware of how much it actually is affecting us and how much it triggers you to lose so much purpose in putting effort in towards your future goals or long-term goals, because we feel so satisfied in the moment. We can go on our phones, that boosts dopamine. Eating sugar, going shopping, it's so streamlined and easily available to the point where it makes it so hard to not do those things. It literally feels like it takes effort and self-discipline to not engage in taking so much dopamine. And truthfully, it does. But after learning a lot about it, reading Dopamine Nation, which I'm sure you might have heard of if you're really into the self help niche of things, and realizing that you can actually shift the pleasure neurotransmitters in your brain and your pleasure baseline to get more pleasure from simple things, everyday things that are outside of your phone, outside of drinking, outside of addictions that you may have, or anything that doesn't really serve you long term, is great, honestly. I feel like as a society as a whole, we kind of only recognize being an alcoholic or a drug addict as an addiction, or a more non-functioning addiction, an addiction that's bad. But truthfully, a phone addiction can be just as bad, because if you're constantly scrolling, I don't know if you've noticed, I feel like this personally, after I scroll for a long time, I have no motivation to do anything. The sink will be full of dirty dishes. I'll have shit to do that I already planned on doing before I sat down and scrolled. And I literally feel like I cannot do it. And that's because your dopamine is satisfied already. You don't have a reason to put the work in to get those things done, because you already received the reward. You already received the end goal, actual, feedback of actually doing those things. And the insane thing about dopamine is the more you do it, the worse it gets. So it can be so easy, like I said, especially for certain people with addictive traits or, ADHD, to fall into a downward spiral of continuously getting more and more addicted, more and more losing a sense of purpose, losing a sense of direction, losing a sense of motivation. Because the more that you engage in it, the more that you receive the dopamine, the more that you want, because your pleasure baseline is met, if that makes sense. It's a little confusing. The more that you chill on the dopamine and pull back from it, the more that your motivation to actually do other things, get other things done, chase your long-term goals, try to build your dream life, actually come back to you. And that's a whole real thing. And I feel like such a big proponent of that is your creativity coming back. When I'm overstimulated, or I've had too much dopamine, my creativity is just in the trash. And for me personally, the things that I want to do and for me to live a fulfilling life literally is largely based on my creativity personally. So for creatives, this is so important, because the place that you're in mentally and emotionally affects your creativity so much. And the average lifestyle, the way that the average, I guess, American or the average person is living, definitely goes against that. Even feeling like a void or a sense of constantly reaching for something, buying something, eating something, smoking something, drinking something, watching something, doing anything to kind of like satisfy some kind of itch is just a no, just a no for me. I hate to say it, but it really is that phone. Like, delete Instagram for a minute, delete all social medias for a minute, and watch what happens. You become so much more aware of your life and aware of your thoughts, aware of how you feel about different things, aware of this cycle that you're in, feeling like you're in a monotonous loop. And I feel like for me, that's where the missing key lies. If I feel stagnant and like I'm stuck in a loop and that it's low key kind of like a little bit depressing to go to work, sleep, pay bills, go to work, sleep, pay bills, have fun sometimes and not truly be free in a sense where it's like, wow, I'm really stuck at this desk right now. Like, I can't go. I literally cannot move because of someone else. It really triggers you to start thinking outside the box. Like, what are my real passions in life? What can I do to make it financially possible for me to do those passions and like live the type of life that I want? And those are such hard things to ask. Those are such hard questions, such hard epiphanies to be faced with. But at the end of the day, that's where the room to actually get there is. It's just plowing along through life stuck in this stagnant loop but not really feeling the effects of it because you're over here filling your tank up with this cheap dopamine that keeps running out and just doesn't make you feel good. At the end of the day, you won't get there. You'll just keep yourself satisfied while you're doing it, and for some people that is fine. That is the life that they truly want, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if it's literally taking a toll on you and you want so many things, you want to have energy but just can't seem to do it, it's so important to get real about your daily dopamine overconsumption habits, which so many of us have. If we're being real, going on our phone, scrolling, listening to music as soon as you wake up, listening to music all the time while you're doing something, listening to, like, layering some kind of joy or pleasure into everything that you do. When you let your mind have space to wander, that's when ideas come. That's when realizations hit you. That's when epiphanies hit you. And like I said, it can be painful. So it's easy to turn the other way and go, nope, let me go back to what was comfortable, just chugging along, getting my dopamine and doing what feels normal and good. But if you were to think about how those daily choices would make you feel at 50, 60, 70 years old, thinking about how you spent your whole life, and would you be truly fulfilled with that? Would you be truly happy about that? Would you be truly proud of that? Or would you be like, dang, there was always this dream that I had. There was always this place that I wanted to travel to. There was always this thing that I wanted to do, this experience that I wanted to experience, and you never did because you kept shoving your inner voice down, your soul down, by feeding yourself bullshit to keep yourself afloat. But I really hope this makes sense and that y'all benefit from this. Honestly, I feel like I'm making a video like such a beginner right now because I literally have no notes, nothing to go off. I'm just talking. So, hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up and comment if you did. Bye, lovelies.